we have this function to bring together organizations from all over the world so that we can network and strategize and try to find solutions to struggles without among our different communities. I've been to all Shrocs, and I guess I could say that's how the Mississippi Workers Center was built. Jaribu started the first Shroc in 1996. At that time, we were catfish workers. Maybe you heard the story, over 1,000 women down in the Mississippi Delta that took on white farmers. Within that walls of the catfish, women were harassed, mistreated, misused, abused, sexual harassed, withheld from medical attention. So at that point, when the first Shroc came about, those women were organizing, and me as being one of the head of those women, we connected with Shroc. From Shroc, the Mississippi Workers Center for Human Rights was born, because at that point we felt like we needed an organization to be rooted right down in the Mississippi Delta to try to show workers how they need to, what they need to do to get organized, to let workers know it was our right to organize, to let workers know that it was their human rights to fight off the abuse of these workers. So that's pretty much how the Mississippi Workers Center and Shroc connected and was born.
Many people think in Mexico think human rights are not labor
Well, it
rights.
was a labor organizer.
Immigrants' rights is not
a
human
labor
rights.
union by its
They
nature.
are always forever.
But then-
Yet we are also people.
Not according to man. So I started looking at this human right thing, found out as a senior citizen, I had a right to want a good home. I had a right to want it to be livable. I had a right to get a job. I had a right to do so much stuff.
What it means to be a human rights organizer is to actually be an organizer. Because I don't believe that you can actually do organizing work from a non-human rights perspective. Because then you're not doing organizing, you're mobilizing on your one little particular thing that you decided, you woke up that morning and decided was important. I think a human rights framework means that you understand that everyone's issues are connected and everyone's humanity is connected. And that I can't actually, I'm the God in you and you're the God in me, or the light in you is the light in me. And that in order to actually do this real work and actually to do a cultural transformation, we have to culturally transform the ways of being, which is actually to recognize that all of us have rights and that all of us have ways of being that need to be lifted up.
Yeah, what she said. And that, it just, the human rights frame just lets us cut across the issues and cut across our humanity. You can, when you lift up that human rights lens and frame, it creates a space for us all to ask what kind of society do we want to live in terms of how we treat each other as people, and what are the systems, then that we need to, change, and how we do that in ways that, connect us as people and connect us across those issues, while also paying attention to some very specific things that keep things the way they are.
Many people think in Mexico think human rights are not labor rights, and immigrants' rights is not human rights. They always forever forget we are also peoples. We have dignity. We need rights. So that's the reason, because it's important for me to be here and talk about also from workers in the South, because I understand there are many violations about that here in the South of the United States, here in Carolina. And it's almost the same in Mexico, it's almost the same wherever, because we also have race discrimination, we are also alone, we also have employers who don't respect the laws, we also have a government that is not interested in the human rights. So that's the reason it's important for me to be here and talk about that and try to figure out a way to work together with these groups in the South.
The South is really interesting. I moved here about 10 years ago from, I actually spent 23 years in California, but I was born on the East Coast. But I left the South in the 70s, and I had been anxious to come back to kind of see what, if anything, had happened as a result of a lot of the movement in the country was, happened here. it's frustrating sometimes because there's so much fear and so much hesitation for a lot of people to get involved because there's so much retaliation, whether it's on jobs. I used to work for the state, and the hesitation for people to get involved in the union with UE 150 was based on legitimate fear of the fact that they were going to be retaliated against.
We'll say about Moncrief Plywood. I was at the bargaining table in Memphis when the company brought their bargaining team in. I was the only African American at the table. And it bothered me that the company would bring to the bargaining table the same management team that was there while the noose hung there for 3 or 4 days. That sort of sent the message to me and to the membership that we were in for a long fight and that it wasn't about contract, it was about our right to survive as a union. So as Brother Cameron said, if we go out, we're going to go out standing up and fighting.
In Mexico,
Come that you might have
human rights are not